All right, we are back. Mia's going to be hopefully joining me soon, and we're going to be talking all about mentorships. I'm super excited for this one. We're going to be talking about the communities that we're in, the conferences that we've been to, our biggest takeaways, and how being a part of a mentorship has really affected our experience and our journey as real estate investors. So I'm just going to wait for, okay, Mia, it says you've joined, so I'm going to send you a request. Hope. Oh, thanks, McKenna. All right, there we are.
Oh my gosh,
Okay.
that was so weird.
I
I don't even know
know, I know
what
what
I
happened.
clicked. Like something showed up on my screen and I like clicked on it. It was like a little emoji and I thought it was like sorry, I'm I'm not expert in this yet.
No, you're
You
fine.
you do
Well,
this a lot, so like you're way better than me.
I
Um
do.
okay, I was asking, did you eat your frogs?
Yes, I saw one more frog I need to eat
Oh,
today,
that's
but
good.
I did most. I ate
My
most.
friend
What about
my
you?
friend told me about that book years ago because I'm like really bad about procrastinating when I don't like to do something. So I'm trying that. I'm trying. You have to like really work on it to like get out of the zone that you're in.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, since we are restarting this live, did you want to touch a little bit on the mentorships that you have experienced so far and which ones you're in, real quick?
Yeah, so like we talked about before, but to talk about again because we got disconnected. Raising Private Money by Amy Jury. That's my main one. I'm also part of Heather Blankenships Society for Women, Society for Women Entrepreneurship. It's like a really long name. That particular group is, I don't know if I would call her a mentorship necessarily because it's like a lot of things in one, but what it does, it like collects all these females and they're all in one room, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the power of it basically. And it really does, like
Mm-hmm.
I was never one on like women da, da, da. Like I was never that type. And then I go to this thing and I'm like, this is really cool. Like it's such a different energy. Like you and I were together at the midterm rental conference, and
Mm-hmm.
you have everybody there. But when you're at the conference where it's just females, it's totally different. It's so that it's
Really?
like the conversations are more mellow. Like you talk business, but you talk personal, and nobody like feels bad about talking personal. Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, people like, I don't know, men don't want to hear like some horror stories.
Yeah,
Sorry, guys.
that's totally understand. I feel like I've felt that on like a much smaller level. Like I'll go to a regular real estate meetup, and it's great. We have good conversations, but it totally is a different vibe than when I go to my all female meetups, local
Yeah.
meetups. It's just I don't know why. I can't. I mean, it just feels different. The conversations are different. It just is what it is. But both are really great conversations. I love going to both.
Yeah, no, I mean, I learn something every time I go somewhere for sure. And
But I can only imagine that on a bigger scale, like a
yeah.
conference.
So what mentorships are you in?
So right now I'm just part of the Out of State Investor Academy, and then I just go to local real estate meetups, and then I also recently joined the Creative Finance Playbook by Jenn and Delle.
I love her. I met her.
Yeah.
She's in the society. Yeah, we hung out in
Oh,
Florida. Yeah,
really?
she's awesome.
Yeah, they're so nice. I just,
There.
when I was debating whether I was going to join or not, I was like, I mean, I'm already part of the Out of State Investor Academy, which I love, and I've met so many great people, and I've really had like been able to build that base foundation that I need. But they specialize in creative financing and rent to own, which really grabs my attention. And then when I had that initial phone call with Joe, I was like, okay, these are the people that I want to be around. They're just so genuine and so open and so sharing, and I don't know, I really love the way that they teach. I mean, they have phone calls 5 days a week, and they'll even get on the phone with
Wow.
you, like with a seller. So it's definitely like, a much smaller scale. They only have like a certain amount of people they have within their coaching program. I didn't even know they had a coaching program. I accidentally heard about it because they don't promote it at all. But I mean, ever since I've joined, it's been really amazing with learning about finance. And obviously, there's bigger communities to learn about creative finance, like Sub 2 and things like that, which are all really great too. But I just know personally, I learn better in like a smaller group setting. I mean, I love the big groups to be able to network and meet people, but
Yeah.
when it comes to really taking action, I feel like having that small like cohort of people I can go to for like questions or just brainstorming on like a weekly or even daily basis is where I recognize where I thrive. So it really depends on like what you need and what you want like out of a group. You know, if you're the type of person who like wants a ton of options, like obviously a bigger community, I feel like, or bigger mentorship program is going to be best for you. But as someone who just really likes that one-on-one feel in a more intimate setting, I feel like it keeps me from getting overstimulated and it keeps me from going into like that whole just analysis paralysis. Now, I still get overstimulated sometimes because all of this is just so, you know, new and I'm still processing it all, but I just feel like I'm leveling up and I can feel myself growing because I feel like every time I do get like overstimulated by everything, I'm like, okay, I just feel like, I was just telling my candidates too, I literally laid on my couch the other day and just stared at a wall listening to yoga music for like an hour. I just
That's
had to just
good.
relax. But then after that, I was like, okay, I'm ready to conquer. So let's go back. Let's keep going. Let's push through. And then I just feel like I'm kind of teaching myself different. I can feel myself leveling up.
That's awesome.
So it's good.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Like,
How
find
many
what
people
like
are in the Society of Women? Sorry, go ahead. What was that?
um oh no, I was gonna say it's good to know like what works for you so that you know like which way to go. Society, I don't know, they have a lot, but it's like an annual thing. So some people don't necessarily renew. So I don't know like the exact number to be honest. But like at the retreat, we had about I think like 100 or maybe a little bit more than that. It wasn't like it was enough that like you could meet everybody basically because it was
Okay.
like 3 days.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, that's
yeah,
nice.
it was nice.
I like
Yeah,
that you're able to meet
yeah,
everyone.
and
Like with
location was good, so like we were all like in one place.
oh, that's nice. I mean, I don't. Was it like you had a certain amount of time during the day where you were like you know speakers were talking and then you networked after, kind of like the midterm mental conference was?
Yeah, it's just that like at the midterm rental, the lunch was there, like provided. We kind of had to like go out, but because the hotel was like oh my gosh, what's the name? Like they had restaurants there. And one
Okay.
particular restaurant had the most space. So like we all kind of ended up at the same place anyway. And so we would
Mm-hmm.
like just kind of separate in like different tables and hang out, which is similar to like midterm. It's just we had to like go out and find our own food. And then they had
Oh,
like, so the first day they had these workshops where like Amy did a workshop, Heather, and then Shannon Rose. Shannon Rose is really cool. She's not necessarily real estate. She's more of like social media person and like how to
mm-hmm.
grow your social media. So like you get a lot, like it's not just real estate in the group that you
Mm-hmm.
learn. And they had their workshop. So if you didn't pay for the workshop, then like you would hang out. So a couple of us that didn't, we just hung out and we like did our own little mastermind thing. So actually Jen
Oh,
did it for us. We like somebody had a creative finance deal and she sat and like broke it down for us. So that was really cool. Like she gave pointers on like how to talk to sellers and things like that. And see,
that's
that's
so
the thing.
cool.
Like you never. That's why I don't like limit to one thing because you just don't know how these things are gonna connect you to like things you're gonna need in the future.
Yeah,
And I personally just
100%.
love
I
meeting
feel like
people. That's my thing. I'm very
yeah, me
I'm very
too.
social. Yeah, you and I are extroverts, and we were tired
Yeah.
after the conference. Yeah, we talked about that.
Okay. So what is one thing that you feel like has affected your real estate journey the most with each of these mentorships? Yeah, each of these
Um,
different mentorships,
yeah.
including
So
conferences.
mindset for sure because it opens up your eyes to what's possible, and
Mm-hmm.
then action because when you are in it, it really does push you to like you know because like you and I both heard a podcast yesterday, so like we can like talk about that. But like what Olivia said, being part of whatever
Mm-hmm.
mentorship, a group, like whatever it is, like it doesn't mean that like you pay and like it suddenly happens. Like you still need to like do things. So
Mm-hmm.
like I think when you see what I see in these groups, people who are making things, like who are doing really well, are people who are like following the steps. And then if you're a bad student, like I have to admit, I was the bad student because like I started it last April and didn't do anything. I just sat on a sideline, but it's okay because that's what I needed at the moment. But now that I started actually utilizing everything that is being taught, like things are happening. So that's what I
Yeah.
noticed. People that were like really growing, when I talked to them, like, what do you, like, are you like, what module are you on? And they're like, oh, I finished all the modules. It's like, that's what it is. So
Mm,
it's really like school. Like if you know, if you're going to go to class and you're not going to do any homework and
mhm.
study and whatever, like you're going to fail. So it's really, really similar.
Yeah. I love that you touched on that because I feel like so many times people think like, or I've heard like, oh, well, I heard that this person joined this community, but they haven't even closed on a property yet. And I'm like, you can't base it off of that because you don't know how
Yeah.
involved that person was, and like they were talking about on Olivia Toddy's podcast is that you get out of what you put in.
Yeah.
And you really, if you're paid to be a part of a mentorship or community, really like show up, make your accountability groups, meet on a weekly basis with people in the community, go to the meetups that, obviously sometimes I can't make all of the videos that happen in the Out-of-State Investor Academy because she has a lot of speakers who come on every month,
Mhm.
and sometimes they fall on a day that I work at my W-2 job, but it goes into a video library, so now I can go back and watch it. So even if I
Yeah.
can't be there live, being able to ask questions, I still will go back and watch it and keep up with the material. Um, but I just like the more I feel like you're involved, I feel like the better chance you have at getting the most out of it. Because it's not you could have the greatest teacher in the world, but like you said, if you don't do the homework and you don't spend time
Yeah.
and
It's not,
effort into it, you're gonna fail.
I mean, unless it's something you're just naturally really good at, other like it's not
Yeah.
just gonna like happen for you. So what would you say that your biggest takeaway and benefit is?
I'd say for the Out of State Investor Academy, it has definitely been like just the place I have been able to. It was you know, the reason why I joined the Out of State Investor Academy is because I met Soli at one of her meetups, in-person meetups, and I just really loved her vibe, her personality, her willingness to share. And like you said, vibe's a huge thing. And I was like, okay, I want to like surround myself more with people like her. And I felt like when she held these meetups, I feel like you attract the people you are because everyone that I met at these meetups were amazing. I mean, I still talk to these people on like a weekly basis.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So the biggest way I had with the Odyssey Investor Academy is community. I really built up a community with my accountability groups. I mean, I'm still meeting new people on there every day. Like I really take time to make conversation and really get to know the members in there too. So definitely community, and I was able to go through her rentals for rookies course, so I was able to pick my market, and the way she explains things, I mean, are just so easy to understand because there's so much information out there. Like, obviously the question is, do you need a mentorship? No, you could do it on your own, but it's going to
Yeah,
be a
no,
lot
you don't.
faster
Yeah.
and a lot like less like you will go through a lot, I feel like a lot less challenges. Like it's still gonna be hard as hell. Like ever since I joined these mentorships, my life has never been harder, but in the best way.
I agree.
Like
I agree. Like I've never
it's
been
like
busier than like
yeah.
now.
Yep, I've never been busier. I feel like had this much on my plate. I've never been so challenged before, but it's never been more rewarding than it is now. And I stay in the group because she brings in speakers every month. So we're touching on things like I got to learn about VAs and an attorney to come in and talk about, LLCs and cost segs and how to protect yourself and just taxes. I mean, there's different speakers. So every month I feel like I'm learning something new. So that's what I love about that one. And when I joined Joe and Jenn Dele's Creative Finance Playbook, I really liked that they did the calls 5 days a week. It was like a little bit more of that hand holding when it comes to talking to sellers that I realized that I needed.
Oh yeah.
And what's cool is that they have 100% success rate with their students. like they will call you out and they tell you too, like, look, if you're going to join, like we're very particular about who we, you know, bring in, but if we're going to bring you in, you have to be willing to do 15 hours of work a week. Like you have to be, you know, to do this,
Wow.
this, and this. And I'm like, okay, I'm ready.
That's
You know,
awesome.
because it's a lot of work, but I like that that accountability that was there. And, you know, they just have a really great attitude, really great vibe. So it just, I don't know, I really liked just talking to them and being around them. And then ever since I joined the group, meeting people like them has been awesome too. But yeah, getting that daily confidence boost or having that daily person to talk to like live like this and ask questions has been super helpful.
That's
And
cool. I
just
didn't
having
know
both.
they did it like that. That's a recipe for success for sure. Like, cause if
Yeah.
like you are gonna do it because they're literally like making you do it. That's awesome.
And I've never been back. I've gotten so good at tracking my KPIs too. And they like introduced me to Notion, which is an app that you go on and you track like your calls, your leads. Because at the end of like if you haven't closed on a property in months, they're gonna come back and be like, why? Let's look at your KPIs. Let's see, are you not getting enough leads? Are you not making enough calls? They really help you learn how to track your progress because
That's
it's all,
awesome.
you know, numbers.
Yeah.
Right? If you're not calling enough people, there's the problem. If you're not getting enough leads, there's a problem. Now let's figure out how to work on that. How do we get more leads in? How do you call more people? So it's just definitely a confidence booster and really getting comfortable with talking to sellers.
Yeah. There's my fellow RPM, Marie. We just discovered that we're born on the same date.
Oh,
Hi,
no
Marie.
way.
Yeah, it was so funny. Like we were all hanging out the last night at the bar, and I don't know how we like touched on a birthday, and we have the same birthday, so that was really cool. But
Oh my
but
God.
see, but it's like it like being part of these communities, like you literally make friends. And Olivia said that in the podcast yesterday, because people are like, well, you want to pay to have friends, and it's like, well, you pay to go to school, and you make friends there. So essentially you pay to have friends. So like if you want to look at
Mm-hmm.
it that way, but you're not paying to make friends. You're paying to be around people that are doing bigger things than you are. And then
Mm-hmm.
by osmosis and you like having action, it's gonna work. Which
Yeah,
I think it's
absolutely.
great that you're in Jen's program. I think they're amazing. Like the way they share. I don't know if you ever heard their episode on Bigger Pockets when Joe shared his phone number like on Bigger Pockets. I didn't know who they
No, I
were at the
didn't.
time, and that's when I started following. I was like, this guy is so cool. Like he shared his wonder. Yes, it's like-minded people, Marie. I agree totally.
He's he's literally like that in every phone call we have with
Like
him. He's so
he's just
great.
like
He's so
giving
fun.
out everything. That's funny.
Yeah. He's awesome.
That's awesome.
And then also Ricardo actually is in here. He's a member of the Addison Investor Academy too, and he is under contract. He has been just on fire lately. He's under contract for his second property, and I think he just joined the Addison Investor Academy like a few months ago now. So,
See, action,
and
action.
I met him at a local meetup.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
it's just, yeah.
So are these once a month, these meetups?
So the one that Solely put on, it's like once every couple months. Her and Bree Hartman put it on. In the area, yeah. So they'll put it on once every couple months. They haven't done one recently. I think the last one was, I want to say like was January or somewhere around there at the beginning of the year. And then other than that, though, just local meetups around here.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm actually going to be starting a meetup. So
you are?
there's that.
I'm starting one too. Nicole.
You are?
Yeah. Nicole that was on the call, she has one in San Diego and it's called Cash Flow Queens. And we were talking and I said how I would like start one, and she's like, well, you can like start this one. I was like, yeah, and then someone else can start it in their town, and then like it can be like this whole thing of like cash flow queens all across US. And I decided I'll do it in August, because it takes time to like plan it out. Like it,
yeah. I'm shooting for my first one in June, but I decided to do it like a couple months ago.
Nice.
So, and I surprisingly found a really great place. Like I thought it was going to be hard to find a venue, but then me and my boyfriend were just at lunch one day, and I was kind of looking around this place, and I'm like, this would be a cool place to do a meetup. So I asked the manager, and she was happy. She's like, oh, we'll give you some free appetizers, like, because they had been, I mean, it's during a weekday, it's on a Tuesday, you know, that I was thinking about doing it. And like, usually these restaurants are very slow during the weekdays, you know, so I feel like most of these managers are happy, and like, they're not even charging me for
That's a
like,
good
you know, usually they're
idea.
like,
I
oh, you can
like
have
that.
a patio for $100 or something, but she's not even doing that. So have you looked into where you want to do it yet?
No, I'm keep thinking like where is a good place to do it? Because like I've been following what Nicole does, and you know, you need like a mic, and so it's a bit of an
Mm-hmm.
isolated space. Like
Mm-hmm.
no other people can. I mean, I guess people could sit there, but it's not like the same, I
Yeah.
guess. So I'm trying to think of like places that I've been to that have these like separate spaces. And I have a
Mm-hmm.
couple of places in mind, but now you gave me a great idea with this. Like during the week, you ask and they'll probably like say yes because they're slow. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely ask that.
And then you don't really have to worry about, you know, a lot of other people
Yeah,
being there, just like kind
yeah,
of random people, because they're not going to be there anyways because it's a weekday. So
exactly, exactly.
less likely.
Yeah, but I'm excited because I've
But
actually never been to one in Houston. Like I've been to the local group that I'm part of, but I've
mm-hmm.
never been to like a random meetup like I would like to. I know Rob Abasolo, he puts on sometimes, but it's not like a set schedule. Kind of like Soli and Bree, like he will just be
Yeah.
like, oh, let's have one, I don't know, next week. And last
Yeah.
time I missed it, I couldn't go because I found out about it like that day. But he's here in Houston, so it's it's good to like go to his meetup.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. I should, that's going to be so exciting. Sorry, do you think you're going to do it of just certain members of certain communities, or is it going to be open to everyone?
So this is for females, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll see how that goes. Like, I don't know if that's too limiting, but I did also hear that females do like that. They like to come to like a female only event,
Mm-hmm.
especially for this. And the goal is to do like a speaker every time to like teach something different about different parts of real estate. So it's for people who
Mm-hmm.
like don't do it yet to see that like they can do it, that it's,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they can reach that if they want to. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's my goal. Because that's kind of how, that's what Nicole, when she started it, that's how she started it. It was like people who don't know about real estate to learn about real estate. Yeah.
Love that. It's going to be so
Yeah. So yours
fun.
starts in June. Well, I'm excited to see that. That's
Thank
good.
you. I'll probably post about it soon. Probably need to start promoting it.
Yeah.
I've just been so busy lately with trying to be under contract, buy invested. So my weeks have been busy, but
Yeah, no.
but so
It,
back to the with your conferences though. So I know what you got out of the RPM conference. What do you feel like your biggest takeaway was from the midterm rental conference?
midterm rental, the government contracts, that topic was
Mm-hmm.
very interesting, and it's something that like I wasn't super familiar with. Because I mean, I follow Jesse, like I've heard a lot of MTR, but like the whole government contracts and that website on like where you can like see what's going on in US, like where projects, where's money going, like that was really cool because like never heard of that before. So that was really, and like when he talked about, I don't know if you remember when he said how government contracts, they'll have a certain amount of money in their fund and it expires at, let's say, end of the year,
Mm-hmm.
and if they don't use it they lose it. So like they have like they want to use it. I was like, that's crazy. So like if you can figure out a way to like use their funds obviously to benefit them, like then you can use that money. So like when they say money's around us, it really is. You just have to like know how to find it. What did
Oh,
you
I love it.
what was your takeaway?
Um, Probably say the same thing. Noble was awesome with the government contracts. It really helped me expand my mind. But I guess another thing is just talking to other investors and hearing about like a lot between, you know, the difference between active and passive. It really taught me that, you know, I feel like it's very rare to find passive, true passive income, right? I mean, it's all going to be active at first until I feel like you can build up your business to automate it. a little bit better, and then you can kind of step away and get that little bit more passive income. But it definitely made me kind of like think about, okay, what am I doing? What's my end
Yeah.
goal? And made me really realize and like reconsider, like, okay, why am I doing this? What do I want out of it? And because I just got so, I feel like, hyped up with like being around so many great entrepreneurs, and then all of a sudden, I'm working more than I ever have before, which is great and I love it. But I definitely want to feel like that end goal of being a
Yeah.
little bit more on the passive side, how I can build my business to be more towards the passive side. So I think really expanded my mind though, and like especially like these other government contracts. It's not even just those government contracts, but realizing that you can think of certain like things in such
Yeah.
bigger ways. It's like, okay, if I can get a contract with the government, yeah, I can go, buy my own building and then create that contract with the government, or I can go find a building that's already
Yeah.
built, be the broker in the middle, and have it be completely passive.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
it's made me really rethink certain ideas and really kind of expand on that. And just meeting all the people. I love all the people.
Yeah,
So many great
it
people.
was fun. It's funny, Rich Summers, his podcast, I don't know if you listen to him, but he's based out of San Diego. And a guy who was Ruben, who was at the MTR, I think I actually met him, but he's like big on MTR space, and he's strictly insurance. Like that's his like, niche. And he was talking about the conference on the podcast, and he said some things that I was like, I didn't even hear that. And it's just interesting to like hear somebody else talk about what they heard, because it's like completely
Mm-hmm.
different. Like he was talking about Cody Sanchez and like what she was telling us. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, I heard it totally different. But what he was saying, like, it is what she was saying. Like she said, if you remember, like instead of buying a business, you buy into the equity by doing something for the business. And
Mm-hmm.
that's like the quickest way to like grow wealth without actually like investing any money.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like that's awesome for people who have certain talents, like they can go out and do that.
Yeah, that was an
Yeah.
amazing part of
Yeah.
her speech. Another mind blown, I feel like, moment. I was like, oh, I can think about this differently. Maybe I don't need to go start up my own company in this field. Maybe I could just offer my services to
Exactly.
them and gain a little bit of their
Exactly.
equity rather than going through the whole
Yeah.
process of starting my own.
Yeah.
Just
Exactly.
more options.
I just
Mm-hmm.
think sometimes we like complicate things, and then someone like Cody needs to be there to tell us like, no, there's an easier way and a more simple way.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
right. I love that.
yeah.
And what would you say? What do you think you would say to someone who is, a little bit hesitant about joining a community or a mentorship or going to a conference?
Um, I would say kind of like what you said about yourself, how like you like smaller community. So I would say like figure out what is it that you like, who you are as a person, like what type of like how do you like to learn? And if you want somebody to teach you a certain thing, like in your case, the creative finance piece, then
Mm-hmm.
find the group, because there's so many groups like short-term rental. There's so many gurus out there, and you need to find the one that speaks to you. Like, don't just like fall for everybody.
Yeah.
And I think being part of all these like different groups and meetups, like you can ask people like, hey, have you heard about it? You know what I always do for everything real estate related? I go to Bigger Pockets forums and I'll just type it in there. And
Okay.
like, especially for mentorships, like pretty much everybody has commented on mentorship in there about something. So like
Mm-hmm.
you can find the information there. Like that's a good idea. But
Like that.
I don't know, the hesitation, like I
Mm-hmm.
I just have to say that like for me, it really changed my life, and it pushed me to like do things much faster, because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like analysis paralysis is a real disease.
Yeah.
Like I think there's so many people who have the analysis paralysis,
Mm-hmm.
and when you have somebody there that you can kind of rely on, so to speak, it really does pushes you to like do it faster.
Yeah.
I would have never bought
Absolutely.
my first 3 rentals in 1 year, two at the same time, if I wasn't part of the group. Never.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wouldn't like, I, it would take so much effort for me and probably so many screw ups that
Mm-hmm.
I would have failed miserably on at least one. I'm sure, because that's what I hear from people. Many people will get like one or two rentals and they were like, never again. And when I ask them why, it's usually like, oh, the contractor this, or the tenant that. But if you surround
Mm-hmm.
yourself with people who are in it, like, you'll hear that these are all normal things, and you just kind of
Mm-hmm.
like, on my first property, we finished the remodel and I was supposed to, like, actually I think I already refinanced it, but like, I was getting a tenant in and I went into the house to just make sure everything was good. My AC was gone. Somebody stole my AC from the cage. Like, I had a cage that I installed over the AC. They cut the
Wow.
cage and stole the entire AC unit. And I didn't even freak out because, like, I listened to Bigger Pockets and I talked to people to know that sometimes crap like this happens and you just have to deal with it. So that's
Yeah.
why I think groups, but mentorships definitely to push you to, like, go further faster, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. And so, I mean, if you think about it, it's like, I know some people think, oh, okay, well, I only need a coach or a mentorship to just get started. But that's not true, because look at all these, people who are 20 steps ahead of us and they're
Oh
still
yeah.
hiring
Oh
coaches
yeah.
or mentors, and they're spending thousands of dollars, like 20,000, 100,000. I mean, I hear it all the time. And like, you would think, I guess in my mind, I thought that, okay, once I have it down, I'm not going to need a coach or a mentor anymore. But that's completely wrong, because it doesn't matter what level you're at, any sort of coach or mentorship is gonna basically be that shortcut for you. Like, yes, you could do it on your own. You can absolutely do it. It's gonna be harder and it's gonna probably take longer.
Yeah,
So, but and like, think of them like they're tools in your belt, right? Like, you
absolutely.
can either go it alone and like learn all this by yourself, which you can absolutely do, or you have the resources, go out and get yourself some tools in your belt that are going to help you through these through the challenges, through the difficult times when you need someone to turn to. And if you don't have the resources to go and like be a part of these communities where you pay, a monthly subscription, or, just a one time like $10,000 fee or something like that. If you don't have those resources now, there are tons of free resources like Facebook
Yeah,
groups, local meetups. And then when you meet people, create accountability
yeah,
groups.
yeah,
I mean, I met my accountability group through the Out of State Investor Academy, but I could have easily just gotten contacts from a local meetup and created my accountability group there if I didn't have the resources to join the Out of State
yeah.
Investor
No,
Academy.
definitely.
So there's so many ways that you can surround yourself with these mentorships without having to, pay a bunch. But it's just that, there are programs, and, you do have to respect their time and things like that. But a lot of people, I feel like, in the real estate world are willing to share. And sometimes, I mean, yes, it's good to surround yourself with people who are 5, 10 steps ahead of you, if not 20 steps. But I feel like it's also good to talk to people who are on your level, because you guys can kind of talk about and vent about the problems that you're having. So at least you're not alone. Like, if you can't pay $10,000 to go and be with someone who's 20 steps ahead of you, like, go to a local meetup, find someone who's 5 to 10 steps ahead of you, and see if they're willing to do an accountability group with you, or maybe take them out to lunch or coffee, just to get to know them and see if there's anything that you can offer them or you can help them with.
Yeah, and I was
Um,
gonna say, I think a great idea is not to say like, "Can I pick your brain?" Because, like,
yeah,
they,
don't do that.
yeah, they hate that. They hate that because it's like, you're wasting my time. It's like, how can you help them? But by helping
Mm-hmm.
them, you're actually learning from them. So put yourself in the position of you're helping them, and you will get in return, like,
Mm-hmm.
knowledge or favor, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people think like they don't know if they have anything that they could offer. So like, everyone has something to offer, and even if you don't feel like you have something to offer in the moment, go out and learn something. Learn about how to, like, go learn social media. Go learn about ChatGPT. Like, I felt like I didn't have a lot to offer, so that's what I went and learned about. Like, I went and learned how to make a good reel on
That's awesome.
Instagram, and like, or how to post, and just different social media tips that I can just share with people, so I can like help be of value. So that, because
That's a
to me, I feel like I have to feel like a value.
great point. No,
Like I
definitely.
feel like
Yeah, that's a
an
great
imposter.
point. See, I love that.
And
It's
like,
like, go out there and learn. Yeah.
There's so many resources out there that you could, like, maybe you can like learn how to use Google Sheets. Something that's free. It's free to create a Gmail. It's free to learn Google. Go look up some YouTube videos. Learn how to create Excel sheets or just, maybe Canva or something like that. There's free Canva. There's so many things that other people that don't have the time to learn, but that if you had the time, you can learn, and now you have something to offer them for their knowledge.
Well, and then a lot of these people like who are really busy, like they don't have time, and then they want to hire somebody. So why not hire you? Like, and then you learn from them. Like it's a great, it's a great point. Great point.
Yeah.
Love it.
And I feel like for anyone thinking that like feeling that imposter syndrome, oh, I'm not sure if I should, even join this community yet, or I'm not sure if I should go to this conference. It's like you're good, no matter what level I feel like you're at, you're always going to feel a little bit of that imposter syndrome. I feel like that's not going to go away until you start actually going. I've talked to so many investors who were, oh my gosh, like I had such bad imposter syndrome the first time I went, but now, now I feel like, and I would have never guessed that, and I was like, I never would have guessed that you had that, you went through that whole imposter syndrome of just having, panic attacks or just finding yourself going and being, retracting yourself because you didn't feel like you belonged. And all it took was just getting out there and meeting people to realize. And that's why I feel like one of the best things about these conferences is that you're in a room with someone who I feel like is just on this pedestal on like Instagram or TikTok or whatever social media platform you're on, because they have like however many followers. Yeah. But then when you meet them in real life, you have like feel like this just realization that like, oh, they're just like me. They're just a normal person who were consistent. And they kept going and they kept pushing through and they never let anything deter them. And it's like, I could do that. It just feels a little bit more realistic.
And I would say for most part, all those people are completely normal, everyday people that you can talk to. There are some who are like not, but like, I mean, that's just life in general. So I think, but like you said, going there, being uncomfortable and then getting comfortable, those are the steps that you take. And that's why I remember when I joined RPM in April of last year, the first conference that I went to was in November, and I didn't really know anybody. I knew them from the Zoom meetings, but I didn't physically know them. And then as we were like there getting to know each other, you're just getting like more and more uncomfortable. And now this conference that I went to 2 weeks ago, I mean, dude, I felt like I was hanging out with my friends from high school. Like it was just so much fun. Like you're just so relaxed. Like you don't have to like overthink anything because like you just feel but you're still learning. You're learning from them. You're like, since coming back from the conference, I was able to utilize things to just do referrals. And, when you were talking about passive, like the most passive thing you can do is to be a private money lender. That's the most passive thing you can do. Because all you're doing is you're giving somebody money, they're doing the hard job, and you make the percent. It's like, that's perfect. Yeah, sign me up for it. So that's what I've been doing since I've been back. I've been pairing up private money lenders with deals. And then I get percent of that. And I'm like, this is really cool. Why didn't I do this earlier? Like Amy teaches that. Don't get me wrong. Like Amy teaches that, but I didn't feel comfortable. But now I feel really comfortable. Now I'm like totally cool with that.
Yeah, I love that. You're only getting comfortable if you do it.
Yeah.
Start doing it.
And you get better and better at it. So have you had any calls with sellers that like you are getting leads? Because I know they use Facebook, right, to get the leads.
Yeah. So I've been posting a ton on Facebook. I got a few leads from there, but I've also been looking on, PropStream, on wholesalers lists, a little bit of everything. And then I have like my realtor sending me, MLS that I look over.
Nice.
And I've been on the phone every day. So I put an offer in the other day. So we'll see how that goes.
Awesome. But, congrats.
I find myself, I'm texting realtors about leads. I'm calling them. I feel like calling is definitely the better option. It's like you get way more practice, but it's time consuming. And so I found myself, okay, I have 6 leads to call, but it's already an hour in and I've only talked to 2 of them. So I started texting, just like, kind of cold leads, like something that I feel like I could make work for what I'm offering. Then I'll just text the realtor. And talking to realtors is a little hard. It's not a lot, I feel like, knowledge with creative financing.
No, you have to like actually teach them. Yeah.
Yeah. And then as soon as you say, I got hung up on for the first time the other day.
What?
And I was like, oh, like as soon as I met, he was just a grouch already. But as soon as I mentioned terms, like they just hung up on me. I'm like, the house had been on the market for like over 120 days. So like, and like this realtor, but I mean, so when I talked to Jenn and Joe about this, all they said was that, okay, we'll just write the address down and follow up with them in like 30 days if it hasn't sold. Because what's going to happen is that they're either going to let that realtor go who is hanging up on potential offers,
Yeah.
and then you can follow up directly with the seller, or it sells and then you just remove it from your list. Either one. But they said just follow up, follow up, follow up. Because even if like they're super closed off right now, if that house is still sitting on the market in 30 days, maybe they'll be open to listening to you in 30 days. So it's just all about
that's interesting that the person hung up on you and that was a realtor, right?
right. I was like, I totally understand. If a seller wants to hang up on me, hang up on me. But a realtor
Yeah, I was
to
gonna
not even
say
hear out
legally they're
what I was
supposed to. I
offering.
mean, as far as I know, they're supposed to like hear every offer and actually present it to the
Present it.
seller.
Yeah.
You should
It's
email
weird.
them because somebody did that for my house, my property. They sent a ridiculous offer to my realtor, and he's like, "Look, I know it's ridiculous offer, but I still have to legally present it to you." And he
Yeah.
did. I laughed only because of what they were doing. And I
Yeah.
was like, good for them. Like, okay, I'm not
Yeah.
accepting it, but good for them, But that's weird that they hung up on you. That's
Yeah.
not cool. Now you should email
Yeah.
them.
I
Yeah,
know I should.
the
I
offer
have to,
letter.
yeah, I have to like find this is something I still have to do, is find the seller's like number directly. And I think I could do this on PropStream. I think they offer this. You like pay a certain
Yeah,
amount to
you can
get
skip
like the
trace it.
contact
Yeah.
information.
So,
Yeah, that's what it's called.
so
Yeah,
I
skip
use
tracing. So I'm
PropWire because it's
doing
free because I'm already paying for
PropWire.
Privy. Yeah, PropWire is similar to PropStream. And when
Okay.
you're on PropWire, it will like give you an option to skip trace, and it's 10 cents per
Okay.
skip or whatever.
Yeah, that's similar to what
Yeah.
PropStream offers too.
Yeah.
I'm doing that because I feel like I'm getting a lot of like, I don't know, wall with certain realtors, but when their clients, the sellers are perfect candidates and
Yeah.
are the type of people who benefit the most for what I'm offering. So we'll see.
But good for you for doing it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think I went from like doing like a couple leads a week to now I'm doing like 6 calls a day. So I'm gonna close eventually.
And
it's gonna happen.
and for whoever is still on, this is all thanks to you being part of Jenn and Joe's group.
Yep.
Like, see, that's what I'm like. I think it's amazing. But again, going back to it, it's what you put in, you'll get out. But having them is the most valuable thing you can have.
Yeah. I mean, the first time I called like a seller was right after I had heard Joe do a live seller call on like on the meetup. I just by like watching and listening him talk, I was like, okay, I could do
Like,
this.
I can,
I can do this. And as soon as he got out of the meeting, I made that first call, and ever since it's just been back to back. That repetition is
I mean, they do say
making
it's
me
a
more smooth when
numbers
I
game.
talk. Yeah. And like they give you a script to read through. So like during my first couple of calls, I was literally just like,
you're like, okay, and they said
like,
this, now this, like,
yeah.
that's funny.
But it definitely helped. It helped me so I didn't freeze up, or if I did freeze, I could just turn the page and find like what answer they recommend saying. So it definitely helped. But now I kind of have it already in my head because I've memorized it. So now I'm just skipping through pages slowly rather than like panicking. Like, hold on,
and then
1 second.
the more you do it, then you won't even have to use the script anymore. So that's what's really cool about it. It's just like doing any job that you do. Like, you have to use cheat sheets at the beginning, and then you can continue on your own. That's awesome. So excited for you.
Thank you.
Well,
as we wrap up here, because I know we're coming up on the
Yeah.
hour mark, is there anything you wanted to add into about communities, or what you recommend people look into when they are, I guess, looking into a community or considering joining a community or going to a conference?
I think for community, definitely do your due diligence and like check, you know, because I know a lot of them will have like paid ads on Instagram, and I would just always check about the community.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm huge on Googling everything and everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing things that will pop up for people. So I would definitely do that, read reviews. And I mean, sometimes you would read reviews and still, like, I did that. I joined it's like it was like a program to help you with your Airbnb. It's called Beyond B&B. It was a
Mm-hmm.
major failure. Like, everything they said, and like I didn't get the results. But they have stellar reviews. And so, like, you can't just rely on a review. Like, you kind of have to, like,
Yeah.
figure out, and also, like, what is it that they offer? Like, what is it that you want? You know,
Right.
like in this particular example, in the Beyond B&B, I needed it to improve our Airbnb, like, listing in sense, like, I needed more uh bookings. And
Mm-hmm.
I thought, okay, like, they will help me, like, whatever they teach, but it didn't. Like, because it was, Airbnb is very market dependent, like where you're at.
Yeah.
And so, for example, there was a fail, but then RPM, I went off of the feeling with who Amy was, not even what she was like teaching. It was like her.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Olivia talked about that in her podcast too, that like she kind of did the same thing. Like, one thing she
Mm-hmm.
did because she liked the person, another thing she did because she needed information or needed guidance. So I think we're all responsible for ourselves at the end of the day. And like,
Yeah.
you need to do your own due diligence for sure. But also, like,
Yeah.
I think conferences are a great way, because a lot of these mentorships have conferences. I think it's good to go to
Mm-hmm.
a conference and to like
Mm-hmm.
see who they are, because maybe you wouldn't like them. Maybe you
Yeah.
would go to a conference and you wouldn't necessarily vibe with the community. So like, it
Right.
wouldn't be for you, and like, you would have wasted money if you just joined it without going to a conference.
Yeah. Definitely. I feel like exactly what you touched on too is, I feel like someone's personality is gonna really affect how they mesh well with that
Absolutely.
community. So getting to know the speaker, if you can come up or create an opportunity where you're in the same room as that speaker, whether it's a conference or you're in a room with people who are already part of a community, like a local meetup, or even join their Facebook. A lot of these communities have Facebook
Oh
groups, you
yeah.
guys. Go check to see the Facebook group. Join the Facebook group and ask questions, or maybe find someone who's a part of that community that's in the Facebook that's near you. Take them to lunch, take them to coffee, see if you mesh well with them, and get like their opinions of the community and see what they have to offer. And then a lot of these communities too, you can get on the phone with their team and see what they have to offer. Are they offering 5 calls a week? Are they offering to have speakers come on multiple times a month? Are they what is it that they're offering, and see if that is what you personally feel like would work best for you, because we all learn differently, we all
Absolutely.
mesh with personalities, um, but there's just so many opportunities out there to get to know the community before
Yeah,
before you know
definitely.
join.
And do not fall when you have the call. Do not fall for, oh, this only is today, because that's BS.
No. Yeah.
Whoever does that, don't
Take.
join them.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. But no, but I will say, like, I hate when they do that, because there are certain personalities that, like, you really think you're going to miss out on something. And
Mm-hmm.
it's really just a sales pitch. Like, so yeah.
100%. Like, just take time to think it over, talk
Yeah.
to the members,
I mean, a lot of
get
these things
yourself
are
around the speaker.
huge investments. Like, it's not chunk of
Yeah.
change. Like, it's a lot of money. And so you
Yeah.
really need to be aligned with what do they offer and what do you want. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
really think it through for sure.
Yeah,
100%.
and some of these communities, rather than like doing one big chunk payment, you can pay on a monthly basis. Like, I know with the Out of State Investor Academy, like, I'm paying, 100 and something bucks a month, and it's a subscription. So I feel like if you find a community that does that, that will allow you to hop in, and if you don't mesh well with them, you can just cancel, right? And so it's a little less
Yeah,
scary,
yeah,
versus having to come up with 10, 15, 20 grand right up front, and then not knowing if you're going to mesh well or if it's what you need. So if like that is what's holding you back, is that chunk, is like, if you really, really love a certain community, you can always call too and see if they have like a monthly option that maybe they just don't promote. You can always ask, and there's no harm in asking. Otherwise, there are certain communities that promote themselves as a monthly subscription.
that's a great
Or
idea. Yeah.
and that way can test out the waters before joining
Miranda,
completely.
you're full of great ideas today. I love it. I see. I
Thank
would never
you.
even think to like do that. But it's a great point. Like it doesn't hurt
Yeah.
to ask.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I mean, what's the worst they can say is no.
Yeah.
And then
Exactly.
nothing happens. And sometimes maybe if like they don't do the monthly subscription, you can always ask, okay, well, do you think I could have 48 hours to log into your community, see what you have to offer, see how I feel? I don't know if they would do this, but again, no harm in asking.
Or be like part of a
Especially,
call, because that way you
yeah,
can like go into their modules and things, but like to just visit a
yeah,
call.
yeah, exactly. Because I know Soli sometimes will offer like $1. Like when we were
Yeah,
at
she
the
offered
Mid-Semester
that.
Conference, she was offering $1. You pay $1 and you get a free month of out-of-state Western Academy. I was like, you sure you want to do that? I was like, that
Yeah.
is such a good deal. But people were like questioning, like, wait, why is it such a good deal then? Like, is it a too good to be true kind of thing? But no, she just was trying. She understands the hesitancy
Yeah.
that new investors have,
Yeah.
you know, and so she's trying to take away that fear. And really, I'll give the opportunity to take away the fear and have them come in, because when they come in, they see how great it is. And especially as a newer investor, she has
Levels.
all these like, you know, rentals for rookies and different levels. And as you grow as an investor,
Yeah.
she brings speakers on that help you grow with your business. So I feel like more communities should do that. Because I feel like it really takes away that fear of a new investor of like, oh, do I
Yeah.
invest in this? Is this going to be worth it, or is this all just a promotion? Is this a scam?
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
because there's always that fear.
Well, and it's just like, are you going to vibe with people who are in it? So,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, exactly.
definitely. Well,
But
thank you, Miranda.
sorry.
This was so much fun. We should do a follow-up in a couple of months to see
Yes.
how many offers you've submitted. Like, that would be so cool.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you so much
No,
for coming on and sharing. I
thank
feel like
you.
being able to give people these insights into these different communities and what they offer is just something I feel like would have been helpful to me earlier on, because I feel like I would have joined like communities sooner
Yeah.
if I would have been able to hear from people who are actually in them. So thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you,
on and sharing. We will
Miranda, for
absolutely do
having
this
me.
again.
Appreciate it.
And if anyone, I know it's gonna be posted on yours too, but go follow her, Mia Kurbalija. Is it Kurbalija
Kurbalija.
or Kurbalji? Kurbalija. Okay, that's close. On Instagram, and we will follow up in a few
Yeah.
months.
We can answer Chris really quick. I'm in
Oh yeah.
RPM, Raising Private Money by Amy Majuri, and Miranda is with Soli Leases and Latte. What's it called? The out of state investor.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Jenn and Joe's Creative Finance Playbook.
And I'm also in Heather Blankenships Mastermind for Women, but that's more to like have connections. And but my Raising Private Money is to like really learn business, really learn how to raise money.
And we both love all of them.
Yes, yes. So do your own research and join us.
Yes. Well, thank you again. Anyone else have any other questions before we head out? Second. Let's see. Nice. Okay.
All right.
I think
Thank you, everybody, for joining us today.
Yes, thank you, everyone. And I'll talk to you later, Mia.
Bye. Oh, we met at the summit.